Hello YouTubers, how's everybody doing today? So I am going to train my Jewel again today, and yesterday she was having trouble with lunging for respect stage 1. She's just, it was a lot harder to get her to go forward than I thought it would be, so I want to work on that. And depending on how she does on that exercise, I may just do that exercise, or I may go into the sending exercise and then circle driving. I know she's really good at those ones. I'm just kind of taking her through the fundamentals groundwork again before I ride her again, because I've put like 40 rides on her, but she's had about 3 months off now, so I just want to make sure all of her buttons are still there. There's no gaps in her training or anything like that, so I'm just going to redo the fundamentals. They're hungry. Yeah, first they're going to... Okay. First, I'm going to feed them. Yeah. Off. Good girl. You too, mister. There you go. They get really excited for food. Alright, I'm going to clean this place up and let her eat. Before every training session, I flex her on each side 10 times and each off side 10 times. This ensures that she remembers that I do the pulling and she does the giving, and it helps me spot any stiffness. Like if she's stiffer on one side than the other, then I know to work on the stiffer side more than the softer side, so she can be balanced. Also, lateral flexion is what leads to vertical flexion. So the more that you flex your horses laterally, the softer and more supple they will become, and they won't pull on your hands, and it's just the best thing to do for them, really. The first thing we are working on today is lunging for respect stage 1. She just needs to have a little bit more energy in her departure. See right there, I had to push her a little bit to get out of that lazy walk. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I want her to be better at her departure, and I want her to be able to stay in the canter for longer and a bit more consistent. And the trot's pretty good and the walk's pretty good, but she gets pretty lazy at the canter and lazy at the departure. Here, I was just being kind of silly and wanted to see how she would react to something different and going around me with me just passing the rope behind my back. And I know she's not ready. See, like right there, she stops, and that right there tells me that she's not ready for that. So I just go back to regular lunging for respect stage 1. She really needs the extra encouragement right now, so someday she will be good enough to just pass it behind my back, but for now she needs that driving pressure from me. I really liked her canter departure today, as opposed from yesterday where she gave me a lot of sass when I asked her to canter. She's throwing her head at me and racing around. So yeah, you just keep consistent with your horse and train your horse as much as you can every day, if you can. And yeah, I think this training program that Clinton Anderson has created, I think me training all these exercises for her will create a wonderful horse. And see there, again, it was much more willing when I asked her to canter. She was definitely listening and not feisty or sassy at me, and she just did a beautiful canter departure. But everything takes work and nobody's perfect, so you can see me stretching my arm out, that's asking her to go a little bit faster because she broke down from a canter to a trot. And you can see when I asked her to canter again, when she wanted to trot, a little bit of sass came out, but definitely not as much as she gave me yesterday. So she is getting better. She's definitely staying in the canter for longer until she does break down to a trot, so that's really good. You can tell there she's going to be lazy about the departure, so I just point, cluck, and spink and get her feet moving, and eventually she will get it to where I just point and she'll go off with good energy and not be lazy about her departure. What happens there is pretty cool. She breaks down to a trot, and I ask her with a little bit more pressure to canter off, and she didn't give me any attitude. She had zero sass to give, which was great. So you could tell that she's really trying hard, and she's super willing. See her trip a little bit there? I speed her up right here after she trips because I want her to be more aware of her feet and where she is putting them. So if you speed a horse up after they trip, as long as there's no medical issues and they're 100% sound, then it's okay to speed them up. But you want to get everything looked at. I know that she's sound and she can handle it. So if you have a clumsy horse, the best thing to do is just speed them up and get those feet moving, and that way they're less likely to trip and they know where their feet are going, and they're just paying attention more. As you can see, her canter is getting way more controlled, and she's not pulling on the lead rope. Look at all that slack in the lead rope. That is wonderful. It's exactly what I was looking for. There she goes and trips again. Speed her up. That was a little bit better of a departure when she left me, but I did have to put a lot of pressure on her to get that result. So when I stop her right there, she jumps a little bit. It's because I'm used to just doing lunging for respect stage 2 with her, and that's more of like a stop, turn the other direction, and go kind of exercise, like stop, go immediately. And she's used to that, so every once in a while she'll have like those little jumps where she'll like try to anticipate what I'm going to do. So we haven't done lunging for respect stage 1 nearly as much as we've done lunging for respect stage 2. And I believe in the next video, it's either the next video or the one after that, we do lunging for respect stage 2, so you'll be able to see that exercise as well and know exactly what I'm talking about. And this backing method is backing method number 3, the marching method. And I'm just backing her up towards the camera so I can move the camera so we can do our next exercise. Hey, Amber. Amber. This next exercise is called the sending exercise, and you just send your horse through a tight space back and forth until they're calm and comfortable about it. Because horses are naturally claustrophobic, so this helps a lot with that. Right here, I had to back her up because she anticipated going through the space. So I don't want her to make her own decisions, do what she wants. And she was going to walk through the space before I asked her to. So I back her up and make her wait for the cue, and we try again. So about when her tail passes my belly button, that's when I yield her hindquarters and try to get her to face me with 2 eyes. But as you can see, her hindquarter yield in the sending exercise isn't very good. It's a little lazy, so I definitely need to work on that with her. See how lazy that is? See how she's crooked to me? She doesn't stand straight to me. She doesn't look at me with both eyes. So she's not really taking me seriously right now. So I start using my stick with a little bit more pressure, trying to get her hindquarters to yield with a little bit more energy and just taking me more seriously. But it does still seem to be a bit lazy to me. I may have to whack her on the butt because remember, the series of pressure is you ask them by pointing, you tell them, you ask them by pointing, and if that doesn't work, you cluck by saying I'm warning you, and if that doesn't work, you spank. And you don't want to be like a nagging person towards them. Like, you don't want to point and be like, come on, let's go. Oh, you're not going. And then just keep pointing, because then eventually it just doesn't mean anything. You want to point, cluck, and spank. No, you don't want to be a barbarian, as Clinton says, and just like haul off and spank your horse right away. You want to give them the chance to do it on their own by just gently asking them first. So here I feel like I am actually being a bit of a nag towards her. So I'm like avoiding the spank, it seems like, and I'm just trying to be a little bit more aggressive with the stick. But in reality, it's just nagging her, and it's not going to accomplish anything. What she needs is just one good whack, and that's it. I don't remember who says this, but one good whack is better than 1,000 little taps. You don't want to nag your horse. You want to just get your point across, and after that, you don't really have to do much whacking anymore. So it's good that I recorded this because I have something to work on. That was a bit better yield, that one was. But as you can see, she's very calm going through the tight space. She doesn't speed up, she doesn't throw her head, she doesn't refuse to go forward. The only thing she needs work on is that yielding her hindquarters and just making it mean more. Like right now, she's not taking me seriously. She's just being lazy. She's just getting away with what I'm letting her get away with. So, yeah, I just need to work on that more. Yeah. These speeches aren't scary, are they? Next thing is circle driving. This next exercise is one of our favorites. It's called circle driving. So as you can see, I ask her to go when I'm walking and put the stick on her back so I can judge the distance that she is from me, and we just walk in a circle while she trots. It's a lot of fun, and it's almost like dancing with your horse. And after a good long training session, I like to desensitize her. It's a good way for her just to stand in one spot and relax. All she is responsible for right now is just staying still and being calm. When I switch sides on my horse to desensitize the other side of her, I like to switch sides by doing the slap and walk or the helicopter. Now I'm just doing her forequarter yield so that she's in better view of the camera. She is just the best girl ever. And this one is the helicopter. It's where you whiz the rope up and around. Go low so you don't keep your hand up the whole time or your arm up the whole time, so that way you don't get fatigued and you don't end up accidentally whacking your horse with the rope. So this one like buzzes around up above her, and just a really good way to get her used to different noises and things moving around above her. Alright, you guys, to finish off her training session, I'm going to ask her once again to flex on both sides, 10 times on both sides and 10 times on both off sides. Just a really good way to end a training session because she gets to stand there and relax some more and stand in one spot, and really gets her soft and supple, and just a good way to end it, because what they say is in your next training session, whatever happens last will happen first. So what I want to happen last is my horse to be soft, supple, willing, and just the perfect horse. She's so good. She's just so perfect. And she didn't get this way overnight. It took, I don't know, I trained her for a couple months on all these exercises, about 3 to 4 days to a week on each exercise. And then I gave her 3 months off, and now we're just reviewing them. Yeah, she's awesome. She's the best filly I could ever ask for. Thank you guys so much for watching our training video. This is day 2 of going through the fundamentals again with Jewel, my 3-year-old filly. I think she needs to work a little bit more on the lunging, more on the forward motion, and I think she's got the circle driving down and the sending exercise down, so we're going to move on from those exercises. We're just going to keep working on those and that lunging. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good evening. Bye.